Mike's in the kitchen cooking redfish, coupillon, frog legs in the fryer. Swordfish, backstrap, duck breast, oh yeah, throw it all on the fire. Out in the sportsman's paradise, Louisiana.
Hi, welcome to Chefs of Rod and Reel. I'm Captain Jody Dunmore, here with Mike Lane. We just got back from a great duck hunting trip with my cousin, Dr. Vance Mizaraka, from Baton Rouge. We made a fantastic duck hunt, as you saw previously on film today. We hunted flooded rice fields in northwest Louisiana, and we had a great time. We had Dr. Damon DeMarco, his son Kyle, Randy Trednich, and my cousin Vance, and myself, and Mike Lane. And we shot a whole bunch of ducks. We killed teal, pintail, greenhead mallards, some gray ducks, widgeon, killed a little bit of everything. It was a lot of fun. It's the best duck hunt Mike and I has ever been on. I want to say thanks again to my cousin Vance for inviting us. We had a wonderful time. So today what we're going to do is we're going to cook some of the ducks that we killed on this trip. We're going to be using a recipe out of Chef John Foss's cookbook. The name of the book is called After the Hunt. And Sandy, my wife, has given me this book, had given me this book last year for Christmas. I've tried several things out of it, and it's a very good book. If you hunt, it has any kind of game that you're going to hunt is in this book, many different ways to cook it, and it's a great book. Chef John Foss also has a new book out called Hooks, Lies, and Alibis, and it's all about cooking seafood. Okay, our ingredients are, it calls for 2 pounds of cooked rice. I have my rice cooked. It has chopped minced fresh garlic, green onions, bell pepper, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, celery, chopped onions. We have a duck deboned, just the breast, but I'm going to cut them in cubes like the recipe calls for, but I just wanted to show y'all, you know, how pretty these breasts are. Now, once again, we were hunting on flooded rice fields. So these ducks are eating rice, and there's a lot of soybean in the area also. So they're eating rice and soybean. So these ducks are going to taste very good because of the grain that they eat. It's not like you're killing marsh ducks out in the marsh where they're eating just salt water and freshwater weeds growing and fish and things like that. So these are going to be some really good tasting ducks. We also have some cubed lean pork. This pork is the same pork that we use in our venison sausage that we make at work. It's the boneless pork picnic shoulders, fresh pork. This is some brown sugar for the recipe. This is mushrooms. It's 3 small cans of sliced mushrooms with water. This is a cup of cooking oil divided in half because it calls for 2 different times to put it in. Worcestershire sauce. And these are a couple of peppers, 3 or 4 peppers that I picked off my pepper bushes that I grow in my backyard. And once again, the recipe calls for water added to the dish. Now, I like stock. I don't like to use plain water. So I took my carcasses when I deboned my ducks, and I boiled the carcasses down and made a stock. And this is a little bit of meat that I pulled off the bones that I'm just going to throw in the jambalaya. So I'm going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cube up these ducks. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm just going to cross cut them. We have the pork cut up in cubes. It calls for a cup of pork. I have a little more than a cup. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I'm going to mix this all together. I'm going to salt and pepper it real good. Might even put a little bit of Slap Your Mama on it. Okay, I have a half of a cup of just regular vegetable cooking oil. We're going to go ahead and brown this. 4 tablespoons of butter. Also calls for a little granulated garlic while it's frying down. It smells great. We've cooked a lot of the water down that came out of the meat, and it's really starting to get that caramelized brown like Chef John Foss calls for in the book. Now we're going to go ahead and add everything else that it calls for the next step. Okay, now we're going to put this back on the stove, and now we're going to go ahead and brown our onions and bell pepper and garlic and shallots just a little bit, and then we're gonna take the next step. So stay with us. It's coming out good. The recipe calls for covering the meat with water, enough to cover the dish, cover the pot with water, and then we're gonna cook it for 30 minutes. Once again, instead of using water, I made a stock out of the duck carcasses. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in. And it doesn't really say how many cups or anything. It just says cover it, cover everything with water. It's gonna go on the stove and we're gonna cook it slow for about 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and add our mushrooms and our rice. We're gonna cook the mushrooms for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna bring this to a boil for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna add a little kitchen bouquet. The recipe really doesn't call for it, but I like my gravies and dirty rices a little bit darker than what I'm seeing here. And then we're gonna come back and put our brown sugar, our Worcestershire sauce, and we're gonna put the rice. We're gonna stir the rice into it, and the rice is gonna absorb the gravy up, and we are gonna have wild duck jambalaya from Chef John Folks's After the Hunt cookbook. And by the way, this rice that we're putting in here is the rice that the ducks were eating that we killed. So once again, that's why these ducks from that area taste so good, and all the grain that they eat. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I wanna add just a little more kitchen bouquet to this. I don't think it'll mess us up. This is the finished wild duck jambalaya out of the book by Chef John Folks, After the Hunt. We're gonna spoon some out. It's finished resting and marrying together. And I gotta tell y'all, I'm gonna dish some out for Mike to try right now. I already tasted a little spoon of it. It is incredible. So you duck hunters out there, next time you get some ducks and you wanna really try something great, this is fabulous. So I'm gonna let Mike try it right now and give us his opinion. And once again, I want to thank my wife, Sandy. She was such a big help to me and Mike today. She couldn't be with us to cook this, but she got all of our ingredients together and had it set up on the table and just made it so easy for us to bring this show to y'all. Thanks again, Sandy. We love you.
Now I get to do the tough part. I mean, Jody got to have fun cooking. Now I have to do the tough part. Now I have to taste it. So first of all, I know it's going to be great because my friend John Folks is an excellent chef, has beautiful books, but we still have to keep it real and we have to taste it. So let's check it out. Boy, I tell you. All right, I have something to share with you. I'm basically from southeastern Louisiana and usually hunt ducks in the marsh and things. And I'm not saying that the ducks aren't good, but I didn't like the way they taste, so I'd always give mine away. But these ducks that live and eat over rice fields, totally different taste. It doesn't have even the slightest hint, as they would say, of a liver taste. This is a fabulous dish. Jody did a great job. John, great recipe. John has a new book out. He's out signing books right now. So go on out to the bookstore and get his new book. Everything he does is fabulous. And I was signing books next to him one day, and I told him, I said, John, I said, I sell my books one at a time, and you sell yours about a pound. I saw a lady leave there with 7 of these books, and they're heavy. She's walking out the store, and the books are piled up this high. These books sell well. They're beautiful on the coffee table, and they're great in the kitchen. So thank you again, Jody. You did a great job, and I'm going back to work here. We'll see you on the next edition of Chefs of Rod and Reel.